I have to confess, I was surprised while delighted to see Tina Fey win Best Comedy Actress last year, because we know that the Emmy voters tend to not regard comedians as serious actors. Roseanne Barr beat that curse. Jerry Seinfeld never could. It's usually a problem. She blasted through. But I think that makes her vulnerable. We all think she's the front runner this year, but, Rob, we know that voters are suckers for multiple personalities. And Toni Collette has, what, 4 of them in the United States?
Yeah, voters just love the multiple personality thing. Like, Cynthia Nixon won an Emmy a couple of years ago for a Law and Order episode where, really, let's be honest, it wasn't a breakthrough in acting, and because she played multiple personalities and she won it. And this time, Toni Collette does the same thing. And although there's not that many belly laughs, she gets to play all these characters. So voters are going to be completely besotted with her. And plus, she's a big name, and I'm sure Showtime are pushing her to the nth degree. And if Tina Fey has anyone to worry about, it's probably going to be her. And then also, I must say that Tina Fey, I don't think she was really that good in her episode, to be honest. She should have picked something else as far as I'm concerned. I didn't really laugh at her much at all. I laughed more at Alec Baldwin in her episode. So that's to my opinion, but yeah.
Let's linger on this point of multiple personalities for a second, because people who are watching this video and are not fully appreciative of this factor. Let's draw another powerful example, probably the biggest upset in Emmy history, when Lindsay Wagner won Best Drama Actress for The Bionic Woman, beating Seda Thompson and Family. Unbelievable. It was a jaw-dropper. It was because she submitted an episode of Bionic Woman where she played good and bad examples of herself, persona. Now, we've also saw, of course, where Sally Field won for playing Sybil on the movie side. So, yeah.
They love it.
They love it. But, Chris, you really think Tina's going to win, don't you? Tell us why.
Yeah, I watched all of these episodes, and Tina, I really like this one for her. Alec Baldwin is very funny in it, and there's a side plot going on back at the office, but anybody going to their high school reunion is going to relate to this kind of an episode, and I think Tina is still on this roll right now where she really can't do anything wrong. I watched this Toni Collette this show, and I wish I had multiple personalities, and one of them actually enjoyed this show, because it is unbearable for me to watch this show.
Wow.
Toni Collette is okay, but boy, this show is a pain to sit through. And evidenced by the fact that I don't think it got any. How many Emmy nominations did this show get? 1?
I think it got 4.
So, Emmy voters did not love this show. I think Tina Fey's got it. Now, this may be Tina's last shot at winning an acting award.
Why?
There's a lot of ladies queuing up right now. Edie Falco and Nurse Jackie. Laura Linney's got a new comedy coming up, I guess next year. Laura Dern's got a new comedy coming up. These are some formidable actresses. Sight unseen on the last 2, but Nurse Jackie's gotten some amazing reviews, and I fully expect her to win the Golden Globe and the SAG and lead right into a comedy Emmy next year.
But I tell you what, Nurse Jackie's really good, and I'm sure she's probably going to be a favourite. But really, just think of the fact that Edie Falco will not have a funny episode to submit, probably just like Toni Collette doesn't either. So she might have the same fate. But Tina Fey is probably going to win, because she's Tina Fey and she's still on a roll. But if we're looking at just episodes, I must put this out there for anyone who might be listening or watching. Christina Applegate is so excellent in Samantha Who, and her episode is a killer, and her show's been cancelled, unfortunately. She'll never get a shot again for this show, and please give her the Emmy.
But let's explain that doesn't matter in the Emmy voting, that these are judges, about 50 to 70 of them in these acting categories. They're watching the sample episodes, and frequently, if you haven't won in the past, and she hasn't, that doesn't matter either. So let's linger on this point for a second. If this is a possible upset, Rob, tell us what happens in her episode that you think is so amazing. Christina Applegate.
Well, you know what? It's almost like it's a similar thing to the split personality, because you have to remember her character in this show used to be a really evil so-and-so. Then she gets amnesia. She becomes really lovely and friendly and lovable, but she has these flashbacks to what she was before. So she's playing two roles, and she's really funny. The writing is excellent. She's in it most of the time, and she's just so lovable and likable. And again, my wife and I watched it together, and we thought that is a winner. That is a definite winner compared to Tina Fey, who just does a bit of whatever at her reunion, and because she was mean when she was at high school, woo, hilarious. But Toni Collette, I love her. I love her show, but I didn't really laugh much. I was more admiring her performance.
All right,
so, that's a possibility.
fill out why you don't like the Tina Fey thing. Finish that thought, because Boomer is wowed by her performance at the reunion episode, and you're going, eh. Why are you going, eh?
Yeah. I don't know. She just didn't make me laugh. Like, Tina Fey is a great writer. She's a great comedian, but I don't necessarily think she's the best actor in the group. And in this episode, she's like, yeah, whatever. Like, yeah, she just doesn't do anything for me in the episode. She does things for me in other episodes, but in this one, I just thought, is that it? Is there any other scene that she has that is going to knock me out? And there wasn't, and I was waiting for it. So, and I love Tina Fey, so that's got to tell you something, I wasn't aware.
But Chris, you think he's wrong. Why? Why is Tina so great in this episode?
This episode is wonderful. It's nominated for writing and directing, and she submitted it for herself. It's not as good as last year's episode that won. No. We know it won that an Emmy for her, but it's heartwarming to see somebody at their reunion having. The way that she goes through the problems that she goes through, she thinks she was a whole other person in high school, and that it turns out that she was. Remember the movie Mean Girls that she wrote? It turns out she was a mean girl in high school and didn't even know it. So I thought it was very, very funny and one of their best of the season.
Yeah, look, fair enough. It wasn't like it was the worst thing. It wasn't like as if it was Mary Louise Parker's episode. Like, if we want to talk about something that was completely ridiculous, like, I think maybe on that show, maybe they're really smoking that marijuana, because I don't know what the hell she was thinking. Like, what was she thinking? She doesn't do anything in that episode, so she has no shot. And she really deserves to win. She's been nominated a few times. She carries this fantastic show for Showtime, and she's not going to win again. And let's not even talk about Sarah Silverman, please. Let's just forget that she was even nominated, because that episode was so unwatchable. Have you seen that episode?
I don't think she's funny. I don't think she's ever said anything genuinely witty. Yeah, I know. I don't get the whole Sarah Silverman thing. But look, Julie Louis-Dreyfus is in this category. We have underestimated her in the past. She has won twice. Once in lead, one in supporting for Seinfeld. What's her episode like? Any good?
Could she pull it up? I didn't care for it much. I think of the ones that she's had on this series, this is probably her weakest submission. I did not. It wasn't all that funny to me in the first place. The writing, I don't think, is holding up as well on this show as it was in the earlier seasons. Yeah. And she's basically in a little bit of a withdrawal stage with her son. Not now that he's, I guess, in middle school, he's not caring for her as much anymore, and her and her brother are going through a late night withdrawal symptoms on different things, and it didn't do anything for me. I think she probably must have had better stuff this past season that she could have submitted. If she were to win this year, it would be strictly off of some past sentiment for her, but I really think Tina Fey's got this locked up. I can't imagine anybody but Tina winning this particular season.
Well, I think from what I'm hearing that it's very possible that Christina Applegate or Toni Collette could also win here. I wouldn't be so sure, Boomer. I would agree with you that Tina's probably ahead, but it's not a lock, is it, Rob?
No, I don't think it's a lock. She's probably going to win, but it's not a lock.
And I didn't like Christina's episode nearly as much as Rob did either.
I don't understand.
It's not a show that I watch regularly, so I didn't have any kind of backstory or knew much about what was going on. But I think ultimately what killed that show was the writing, because the writing to me did not do her justice at all in that episode.
Okay, we are going to sign off.